would have came in, hold on, let me see if I have. Hold on. If I was Cassie, this is how I would have showed up to court.
Oh, you over there playing Mario Kart? I think I know Kate.
Oh, not you in my business.
And every few seconds, I will be doing this at the jury. Every few seconds. This is out. Anytime Cassie showed up in a power suit, and I get it. She wants to feel powerful. This man has made her feel insignificant and not cared about. I would have been playing it up. Stomach would have been out to here. Stomach, her stomach ain't even that big.
I like Roberto yesterday.
She's not doing that. She wants to feel
I'm gonna run it
powerful.
with the
I get
black
it.
one.
Brown, gray, and black probably would not have been my
Same
choice.
car.
Um, maybe one day she could have done like a blazer suit and maybe like a pastel or something like that. Um, but I get it. But yeah, that's how I would have came. Let me see. Well, hold on. You said they already saw her cry. They can't milk it too much. Look,
All the
she
boys I don't like
spoke
are
through her tears. She is so much more powerful a person than she was when she was with Diddy. Shriek and Sharon, thank you so much for joining the membership. I really do appreciate you. Okay. So we got the. These are going to be a lot of questions. Let me just warn you guys. It's going to be a lot of questions. Did you believe you needed to protect him? She says yes. Did you know a version of him that other people didn't know? She says yes. You knew how special you were to him, and she said no. We're gonna get into it a little bit later, but Cassie day 4 is not Cassie day 3 or Cassie day 2. Cassie was a little bit more pointed. I feel like she was probably tired. She had been told that she was only going to need to be there through Thursday, but now she's going to be there tomorrow as well. So Cassie was a little bit more pointed. It says, "Did it hurt when he lied to you and he was unfaithful?" She says, "Yes." "Did he give you a lot to be jealous of for 11 years?" And she said, "On and off." "Did you believe he loved you?" She said she did believe he loved her too. She spent a lot of time feeling very hurt though, but that was mostly in the early stages. Did you fall in love quickly? She says yes at 21. Was the beginning stages very passionate? She says yes. So there's an email. It says, "It makes me so happy that you are willing to fly to ATL just to see me." This is Diddy said. She said, "I would fly wherever you needed me. I'm a lucky woman." So the defense is trying to establish that there was a real relationship and that Cassie did indeed feel special around Diddy. They're trying to trip her up. So these were a lot of softball questions at the beginning. The defense is showing that they were in a real loving relationship. The government, y'all, at this point is objecting to everything and it's getting on the judge's nerves. For the jury to see all of these objections overruled back to back to back is given it didn't look good for the defense. I mean for the prosecution. And I still don't understand why they use the soft voiced woman and let her take lead because Comey's daughter was literally passing notes to her every 2 seconds. Um, Another email from Diddy. He says, "I love you so much it makes me cry." She responds, "You hungry, Pop Pop?" He said, "No, thank you." So I made a note of this. I understand what the defense is doing, but I feel like the prosecution could take that and run with it because, well, let me reel that back. The prosecution is not going to have much time with Cassie anymore. They're not going to be able to come back and show all the nuances involved because I would have really pushed that that's a love bomb. This grown ass man talking to this 21-year-old girl, I love you so much it makes me cry. When we talk about Cassie not being groomed, think of these type of conversations, guys. What what was he like 40 something? She's 21 or what? Maybe almost 40. She's 21. I love you so much it makes me cry. Were you high? Like is that even um Diddy, another email. Did this make you miss me? She responds, a lot. You didn't even respond to my messages. Another message, April 4th, 2010. I'm going to sleep now. From Diddy. Cassie, love you, baby. Diddy, I love you so much, it consumes my life. I love you so much, it consumes my life. Cassie responds, love my baby. Diddy responds, I'm sorry. Cassie responds, me either. Like, who was I before I met you? Another email. Cassie, I love you so much. I can't wait until we don't care anymore. And so then they want her to expound on what that means. And she says that at this point, she was still kind of like a secret. The relationship couldn't go public. Um, Another message. OMG, Pop Pop. Can I respond or write something about my man? So she's now wanting to go like Instagram, Facebook official. And the answer was no. This was August 15th, 2009. Another email. Pop Pop, I really miss you. He says, me too, babe. Can't wait to see you. So so I just put a special note. Even though y'all were in a relationship, they were apart for long periods of time due to his work. So there's another email. So you hung up. It's like I need to have something written out to say to you with no breaking room, or you'll just get mad with me and hang up. I know you can take 3 minutes to talk to me. I appreciate the gifts, but I can buy the things on my own. So this one was a little bit confusing. We know that she was more on the jealous side, and I don't know what they were trying to establish with this. Um, Maybe that she was the recipient of money and gifts because later on you'll see where the goal is to make her look like she's extremely ambitious. They said, "What made you fall in love with him?" She said, It was fast paced and scary. And the time he showed his real personality, which was sweet and attentive, I fell in love with. Were you scared that he would find someone else if you didn't have sex with him the way that he wanted it?
Yeah, man.
They objected because that was not what Cassie had testified to. So this kind of tripped up the prosecution. She was definitely setting something up, and when the judge actually did not allow her to say it, she did not recover from that. But I imagine the answer would have been yes. I imagine the answer would have been yes. Um, she said, "Is it true you wrote this? You make me a better daughter, sister, and friend." She said she did write that. She said, "Is it true that you could not wait to spend Father's Day with him?" She says, "Yes, because that made him happy." Was he exciting and entertaining, fun guy? She says, "Yes." Did you feel special because not a lot of people had access to him? She said, "Yes." Was it passionate? She says, "Yes." Did he open up the world for you? That was a good one. And she said, "No." And I said, "Cassie." I
Damn,
remember Cassie's big hit song, Me and You. But he, Diddy at that point was already a global superstar.
feel
Yes,
like he's been
Cassie
hit
was
by.
famous. Cassie had her own money, but Diddy definitely did open up the world for her. Now he did it in exchange for her sanity and her mental well-being, and he damaged her body and mentally and everything else. But when she said no, the woman came back and said, "Did he open up the world for you?" And she said, well, yeah, in a different way. I put Cassie is now catching on what they are about to hit her with. Yeah. So guys, it's a mixed bag here. Although I believe Cassie is groomed, when I'm gonna do my commentary, I'm gonna give you exactly what I was thinking. I'm gonna give you exactly what these legal minds and strategists are talking about. I'm gonna give you what people in the courtroom are saying. So it doesn't mean that I'm quote unquote vilifying Cassie, but if I'm talking about a cross examination and the fence gets her, I'm gonna let you know. I felt like this was one of those moments where she probably should have started off being honest and said yes, but can you kind of explain in what way? Because it was an open-ended question. When she hit her with it again, she answered right away, so it was like, okay, you knew the first answer was not really, you did you earn his trust? She says yes. To make him happy, you wanted to do freak offs. She said no. Another email, August 5th, 2009. Just went to pick up my ring, always ready to freak off. You tell me the day. She says it can be whenever. He says name the night. So now you kind of, I don't have to explain that to you guys. The defense is trying to establish that she was with the freak offs and that she wanted to do them. Cassie says the weekend is better because we need time to recover. Diddy says Friday it is. I want jewels. I bet you do want jewels. uh, I bet you do want Jules, Diddy. Cassie responds, "We don't know him that well, but I can try." He said, "Good, get him here." um, there's some explicit text. August 7th, 2009. Me too. I just wanted to be uncontrollable. Um, Diddy says, "Me too. I wanted to be hot." She says, "I can't wait to store. Oh, I can't wait to stare at big black dicks." I'm sorry. I can't wait to stare at his big black dick. Prosecution says, at this point, we're going to be reading explicit text messages. You don't have to read them aloud. And I was like, lady, first off, I'm annoyed because I can't write it down for you guys if they aren't going to show me a big enough screen or she's not going to read it. So I was like, I can understand why the prosecutors did this. It was to set her up for the okey doke, but I didn't like it. Um, so I'm gonna do the best I can. She says, "I can't wait to have my legs cocked back behind my head to feel something about to feel the dick close to my to 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 feel the dick close to my kitty cat." Um, Another one is what you thinking about? I can't something about I want to see it. I'm thinking about Cassie says, "I'm thinking about taking those dicks from the balls to the head, taking them very slowly." Sorry, trigger warning. We're gonna get a little graphic. Um, when she's saying that, she's not talking about his. She's talking about the escorts. Again, when she's saying that, she's not talking about Diddy. She's talking about the escorts. I can't repeat. When she says she wants to take Big Black Dick, she's not talking about Diddy. She's talking about the escorts. Um, another email thread. Diddy, I'm so horny I can't concentrate. Cassie, so what do we want to do? I'm going home to grab some candles, then gonna go pack us a bag. I'll eat and take my vitamins and set up the rooms. So they're establishing that Cassie set up the freak off room. Now later on, Diddy had like a whole team of people doing it from the lighting and everything else, and then they would come and clean. But at this point, 2009,
Bitch.
um, he's making or they're having text exchanges about that. Cassie, I just deleted our little video of the freak off. It was dope. Diddy says, I'm gonna do it again. Cassie, do you have more pills on you? So they asked her to explain, and this was opioids. Now, for the prosecution, I felt like they were setting they were giving a great alley oop to the prosecution because in this message, Cassie is saying she deleted the sex tape. Diddy says I'm gonna do it again, meaning he's gonna tape it again, probably on her phone. And then Cassie is asking for opioids. She has already made it very clear that when she's asking for opioids, hold on one second. What is going on with this? Okay. When she's asking for when she's asking for opioids, that means that she's trying to disassociate from the freak off. So I think that that will work for the prosecution. So this one is long. The things I want to do for you. I want to be nasty for you. This is Diddy talking. I want to do what you want me to do. I want to make you come more than you've ever come. Now, at this point, I'm sitting next to Lauren from the Breakfast Club, and we're cracking up because I'm like, this sounds oddly similar to lyrics from Diddy and Christina Aguilera. Tell me. So let me look up the lyrics. Tell me lyrics. Oh, let me just do this. When did this come out? So this came out in '06. This message is from 2009. We can go over some of these lyrics real quick because when the Cassie stuff came out, I felt like Diddy was kind of telling us who and what he was into back then. I like the way you dance and the way to play the game. I like the way you take away the pain, the way you tell me that you want it, not saying a thing. The way you got me going out of my brain. See us going at it, going in and out of them lanes. I don't want your innocence. I don't want you to stutter. I don't want a commitment, and I don't want you to suffer. I don't want your number, baby. I want you to wonder. Want you to come up looking like it's something you wanna. Um, Christina comes in. Tell me what you thinking about when you got me waiting patiently. Usually I don't have to wait for nobody, but there's something about you that really got me feeling weak, and I'm trying to find the words to speak. Um, Let me get to the part where I felt was like, tell me this doesn't sound like a drug vendor. Unforgivable. I'm gonna put your limits to the test. You're pulsating. Your heart is beating out of your chest. You're hyperventilating, trying to catch your breath. I'm the first. I'm the next. I'm the end. That sounds like something he would say. I'm a force in your thoughts that'll make your mind think. Look at how I approach you. Look at how I expose you. Look at how I've studied every move. Now I know you. I don't want to control you. I want to console you and do everything that I told you. I told you, get high with me. Come touch the sky with me. Fly with me. Like the newer, wiser me. I'm the dream. I'm the one. I'm the reason you come. I'm a king. I'm a hum. I'm a beast. I'm the last thing your eyes see. The passion beside me is yours now. Come try me. Doesn't this sound like when he's talking to Cassie, it's these same lyrics? Um, the thing now this is the actual message he sent her. The things I want to do to you, I want to make be nasty for you. I want to do what you want me to do. I want to make you come more than you'd ever come before. She responds, I like that. I want to give you the same. I just think that I have to trust you. Like you are my husband. I need to feel safe like home. I don't want to become the glorified the I don't want to become the girlfriend you fulfill your fantasies with. I go back and forth with wanting to or not doing freak offs. And I don't get the other part anymore at least. So she says, "What do you mean by the other part?" And she means that she doesn't get the alone time. After Cassie is involved in the freak offs, that's really what her role is.
Oh
Um
my god.
Who
That
said,
nigga,
"What's funny? Who's laughing?"
oh my god. Okay, I'm me. I'm in the T-Rex room.
Who's
I
laughing?
died too. My ray gun, two people's ray gun died. Look like Vegas been go too.
Let me see. He said, "I want you to feel safe to let go." So she's saying, "I want to be your wife. I want to be with you." And his response is, "I want you to feel safe so you will let go. I want you to feel safe so you will be more freaky," basically. It says at 21 you were successful. Celebrities attended your 21st birthday
Play.
party. She said Sean brought Britney Spears
Yeah,
and
play
Dallas
right.
Austin.
Play.
It was all Diddy. So she says, "How successful were you?"
The fuck it is. What the play?
She said, "I got a plaque." "You have been modeling for some time." She says, "Yes." And she says, "And you are very beautiful and
Bitch.
charming." And Cassie says, "Thank you." So she is definitely ticking away at Cassie's like guard,
Yeah,
right?
he
Because
was
now you
scrapping too.
are,
He was
oh, you
scrapping
were
too.
successful and you're beautiful and
Go
everything.
tell to the left side.
I was like,
Left
don't
side.
fall for it, Cassie, because she's about to get you.
Get my three.
Um,
Get my.
she said Ed
Oh,
Woods
you saw
managed her
Potato?
alongside. There was some connection to Tommy Mottola.
I couldn't
Her
tell
money
that
came
right.
from modeling. It paid
Yeah,
for her
that hard.
Manhattan
Shit.
apartment and
Take it up.
clothes.
Oh yeah,
She
take
said,
it up
"Who
on crack.
introduced you to Diddy?" She said, "Ryan
Oh
Leslie. We
shit.
dated for 3 years." Um, "Were you up and coming?" And she says, "Yes."
Bitch, you got hit with
So
my
we
own
have
fucking shell.
Yeah,
we
she
have
did.
another email. So we're once you with Bad
First
Boy,
time.
once you were signed with Bad Boy, were
Yeah,
you
we
under
got
Diddy? She says
yeah.
yes.
I'm pretty sure.
She says, "Go ahead and tell us about the 106 and Park performance."
Yeah. That's
I
what I'm
can't
thinking
play
too.
the
Yeah.
106 and Park performance, but Cassie said it was horrible. And so what Diddy did was he did a YouTube video with her, basically telling people to that that's in the past and leave her alone. I put sounds like more love bombing to me, but it's establishing that Diddy made her feel safe. She said, "What feedback did you receive about the performance?" And Cassie just kind of looked down and said it was bad. "How much older was Ryan Leslie than you?" She said 10 years. "Let's talk about the flyer to get to Miami." She acknowledged at this point that she did not create the flyer, but it was made. "How many times did you have sex with Diddy? How many times did you have sex before wait. Oh, sorry. How many tattoos did she have before she met Diddy? 3. And one that says no regrets. So this is just established. I mean, the attorney next to me was like, "Okay, some of this is really on the nose. They're trying to make her look basically like she was a floozy who was tatted up and dating older men." They said Diddy was the second older man that you dated. She says yes. "What was the age difference?" 10 years. Diddy introduced her to oral sex before the Miami trip, establishing that she was promiscuous and a cheater. This is just my little note. Prior to Miami, did you understand that he was inviting you to his hotel, it was for a sexual relationship? She says no. Now, I'm a kind of you guys know me. I will memorize certain things pretty quickly and pick up on themes pretty quickly. For this one, what she should have said
Whoa.
was
Oh shit.
no. I was being invited to the apartment because at that point Diddy's house or Diddy's apartment was being renovated. So everybody was meeting him at his hotel. So she didn't say that, she just said no. So here's an email from 2007. It says, "We only really had 1 week together, but I feel so empowered when we were together. I don't want to rush things. On the other hand, you are weary of me." So this is kind of like this is bad, you guys.
Bitch.
She says maybe Carrie would be better for you. Carrie is her best friend.
All in one good.
Establishing that she was jealous of her best friend, or possibly that Diddy was constantly comparing her to her best friend. It, this girl was her best friend of like 20 years. Outside of the court case, just the human element of this, what is so strange is Cassie. and arguably is one of the most beautiful women in the world, right? I don't know if she ever made People's Magazine's list, but she's a pretty lady. Even people who look like her and the models and all this can be so insecure because there's they are their looks are their calling card. So if you have somebody who has insecurities and you have a Diddy who plays on those insecurities, comparing her to her best friend and making her jealous of her best friend. Now, I don't know if
Damn.
the best friend and Diddy had anything going on.
Come on, come on, come on,
She,
come on, come on,
seemed
come
like the
on.
type. She was young, she's pretty, she's white, she's blonde. The type that Diddy was going for. I don't know. But this is 2007, very early on in whatever they have, whether it was a relationship or not. And he's making her feel like shit. Why the prosecution put this in, I wasn't really sure. She also said that, you think that I'm sneaky. I'm sorry that you think that about me. Uh, she asked her to expound, and basically, she couldn't. There was no answer to that. October
What?
14th, 2007. She did laugh when she read it. October 14th, 2007. Was Diddy still seeing Kim at the time you sent this? She said, I don't know. Did you think that Diddy um, was attracted to your friend? She said, I don't remember. Did you fall in love very quickly with Diddy? She says, yes.
Bitch, I caught the
Another one.
bus.
Why did you wear masks during encounters? She said to remain anonymous. Did freak offs become public because of your lawsuit? She didn't answer.
Stream on
From
PK.
your perspective, what happened to Diddy after your
You live
lawsuit?
stream on PK.
She said no answer. Is it fair to
You talking
say
to me?
that you ruined his
Oh,
career?
smart.
And she looks up and she says yes.
Uh,
A freak off email. Cassie, I love when we do freak off so we can make love after. I came so long. Diddy, I love to make love with you after. When are you getting to when are you gonna get your period? She says, I'm skipping my period date so I can plan freak offs. Diddy, I want to know what other fantasies you have. She says she begins to suggest that they start bringing a girl into the picture so she can get into it more. Um, I want to stop there for a minute. So I get frustrated sometimes with Cassie's testimony. I know she has to tell her truth, but I feel like she's
the
not
fuck with that?
expounding on things on purpose. If you are lying in all of these emails because you want Diddy, or maybe you want the money, or maybe you got very accustomed to the lifestyle very quickly, and so you were lying to him in order to make him feel comfortable enough with you to make him his actual girl and do
Oh.
all the rest. I would like it if that's the case if she said that. Because if she says that, then all of this testimony is moot. I liked it.
Yeah.
No, fantasy chick, I get it. But just reading this as is with no context, like if I'm a jury member, I'm gonna be looking at her like, so you did like the freak offs. It's okay to say I lied to this ninja because I wanted the money. You could say anything like I watched the Players Club every week before we did a freak off because I was gonna use what I got to get what I want. I just want like just hearing this on its face, and
Bitch.
I feel like that would sway the jury in the defense's direction.
Damn.
The jury,
Damn.
I don't think
That's
I don't
crazy
think
work
the
right there.
jury is gonna have all the same context that we do because we read all these lawsuits and all that kind of stuff. Just on its face, they're gonna have to really prove that this was not the case. It says, do you recall having convos with Diddy about swingers lifestyle? She said he would describe it with sex clubs and swapping. Did you understand that freak offs were consistent with swinging? She says yes, sexually, but very different. Do you keep freak off secrets from your friends? She says yes. So at this point, they're asking a lot of stupid questions about his assistants. I didn't write it down. I think I was eating a Rice Krispie treat. I was sneaking a Rice Krispie treat because I was hungry. Did a personal assistant ever come into the hotel room while you were having a freak off? She says, not that I remember. I was high. So then the woman thought she got her, y'all. The woman thought she got her at this point because she was like, so you don't remember a lot of things because you get high, right? You could basically see the defense drooling when she said, not that I remember, I was high. It was such a quick response. And this woman has been trying to speak at a very in a very measured tone, trying to be extremely nice to the pregnant lady. So Cassie will be unassuming when she hits her with something. Did a personal assistant ever come into a hotel room? Not that I remember, I was high. So you don't remember a lot of things when you're high. It was it was so fast. And Cassie kind of got with her. She was like, no, my personal space was invaded for many years. Meaning, another message. Um, Diddy, I'm horny and bored. Cassie, I need your dick. I'm dying. I feel trapped. And then she starts talking about how much to tip the cleaning ladies, and I put gross. Because you guys remember back in the day, the assistants were not coming and doing cleaning, so the cleaning ladies are really having to like show up and show out with drugs and piss and vomit and pee and urine
Assume the position.
all over the walls. We got you, Sharon. Beatrice. Hey, Mims, thank you for being a member for 20 months. I appreciate you, Beatrice. Bonnie Lyon. Thanks, Mims, for being our eyes and ears. You're more than welcome. Me Grace became a member. Thank you. Liz became a member. I hope I pronounced that right. Mihai Grace. Mihai Grace. I hope I did that right. Caribbean gal. Lord, today I cannot in my Jocelyn voice. Bree, thank you for becoming a member. Paula, grooming aside, am I the only one that catches that Cassie tried to and did use her body to gain and keep love access to Diddy? He never wanted her once he knew he could use her. I think they were both playing a game. I think I think Cassie thought that she would be able to come in and do whatever he wanted her to do, and then she would be elevated to the wife or the girlfriend. I think that Diddy brought her in knowing that that was never going to be the case. But she was pretty and a good smokescreen, so he could bring her to the award shows. I think that's really what happened. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, let me read the rest. He never wanted her once he knew he could use her.
Or
I
join
don't think
in.
he ever wanted to do anything other than use her. Thank you, Paula. Thomasina, thank you so much for joining the membership. Thomasina says the devil needs to get out of his chair and let Diddy sit down. Could I see this being the new face of the devil? Yes, absolutely. Y'all can blame Thomasina for this picture being up and staying up. No, thank you so much for the generous super chat, Thomasina. Elliot, wish she would have left the relationship a lot earlier. This mess went on too long. Absolutely. AT2. Shout out to Mims because it's hard being neutral, but you're doing
Hold
honest
the check
reporting.
down, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a leg in the race, to be honest with you. I maintain that I think she was groomed, but Cassie even maintains that she was not innocent, but she was a young woman that was groomed, and it was by her boss. So, I stick to that. But I'm gonna give y'all the
Go ahead,
real.
y'all. Wait
DB,
for green light.
they asked her about her assistants to try to establish an
Right,
enterprise.
right.
I wish she had said someone new. Well, no, this was the defense. They don't want to establish an enterprise, DB. That would be the prosecution. The prosecution is that's their claim. Wicked. They making her admit that a freak off was private only. I can see that. Basic black. Actually, Mims, thus far this is pretty boilerplate for cross examination, tactically speaking. If Blondie is on her game, the state should be able to clean this up on redirect. Great work this week. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you speak like an attorney, so I'm assuming you are one. Basic black.
Bitch, don't push me.
Ladanya King, thank you for becoming a member. Louisiana lady, thank you for being a member for 12 months. Okay, let's get back to it. I agree. She was looking for love. And you know what? And if she was looking for money, I don't blame you. Would y'all want to be sticking with
Bitch got
Diddy?
me with 2 bananas.
Just saying. If he did not have the money, money changes a lot. Sharon, thank you so much for the super chat.
Okay, cool.
I think this one just came through. I got Theodora, Sharon, Sonia. Thank you so much for the generous super chat. And Shauna, thank you so much for the generous super chat. And Terry, I don't want to say your last name. Terry, thank you so much for the super
Hell
chat.
no,
I
they took
appreciate
him
you.
with a little flip.
Um, Shauna and Sonia, Shauna and Shauna and Sonia.
What do you
Try
think
saying that 10 times.
the girl
Both
be
sent the
talking
same
about?
amount. Thank you guys so much.
So called be like Glorilla.
Um,
We was at the club. Everybody was looking at her like,
how did Diddy build you up? She said words.
nigga had we get put in the catch when you thought the song
What
about
would
Glorilla.
trigger incessant calling? She says not telling him where she was. Did you hear? Did you believe Mr. Combs has? I can't even read my writing. Do you
Oh,
believe Mr. Combs has good?
mean. You ain't got some pound cake.
Oh, taste. Do you believe that Mr. Combs has good taste? She says yes. What is he known for? She said,
Oh, mean.
music production. Is he known for his cultural impact? Now, me and the lady beside me bust out laughing. And she said fashion. And I said, that's a reach. Sean John was just a t shirt line. He wasn't like FUBU. He didn't do
Ah!
anything that was like, okay, it
Bro,
wasn't
you
groundbreaking.
straight. Bro,
Um,
you got straight yet.
she then says, did he had lots of beatings?
Oh, you still ain't heard from your
The
button?
whole audience bust out
Oh,
laughing. And Cassie
mean.
said, huh? And she said, meetings. Diddy had lots of meetings. And she said, yes. The whole you feel like it was
Huh?
groundbreaking. His t-shirt line.
Huh?
Hmm.
You said you still ain't heard from your boy yet?
I'm still here, ain't
Bro, stop talking to me. Don't say shit up to me today.
Mims, anytime you receive a compliment, always leave with thanks. Did I not say thank you to somebody? Let me know. You felt like his t-shirt line was groundbreaking? If you did, it wasn't t-shirts. I mean, I own multiple Sean John t-shirts. It was polo shirts that said Sean John and t-shirts that said Sean John and jeans. But okay.
What's that?
Did I see Curtis Jackson there?
Oh,
50
I got
Cent was
it
at the
first.
trial.
Shout out to me.
I don't think he was at the trial, but if he was, I didn't see him.
It wasn't a 60 piece though.
I try to get in and get out.
I don't play
I like to get low.
party.
Yeah,
Better
I
go
try to
party in a
avoid it.
Rari.
But that did Diddy have lots of beatings? Took me out. Did Diddy also have to recover from freak off? She says yes. He did it. Um, he did that while running a large corporation. She says yes. What was he addicted to? She said success. People laugh. Um, do you what drugs did he do? She said opioids. Were there times when he was heavily addicted? She says yes. Did he go through withdrawals? She says yes. How did it affect your mood and mental state? It was mood swings and depression. Over the course of the relationship, did he try to reduce his opioid intake? She said yes. Diddy's did Diddy's mood depend on when he was going through withdrawal? I mean, did Diddy's mood change when he was going through withdrawal? She says yes. He became more volatile. When Diddy was she said when Diddy was doing more drugs, was his mood worse? And she said, I'm unsure. Are you aware of any other drugs he was addicted to? She said, no. What was his drug of choice? She said MDMA, which is ecstasy. But opioids were a daily regular for Cassie. And then a lot of text exchanges between Diddy and Cassie about withdrawals. I think what they I think what they are trying to do is establish that Diddy maybe was not in full control of his faculties when he was assaulting her. They are going to have a witness come out. They are going to have a witness come out and kind of like attest to that as a psychiatrist. There was a lot of back and forth about which psychiatrist they were going to let down. Let's talk about the affair with Kid Cudi. It lasted only a month. Broke up with Kid Cudi right before she went to Connecticut for New Year's, and then she went right back to Diddy after. Was Diddy offended because Kid Cudi was a celebrity and she cheated with a celebrity? She says yes. Did Diddy cheat on you with celebrities? She said no. Um, did cheating with Kid Cudi come up a lot? Excuse me. She said yes. Did you accuse him of cheating with other women? She said yes. Did he become upset during the holidays because of Kid Cudi? She says she doesn't know. Did he accuse you of cheating with other celebrities? She said yes. When? When I was on the Honey movie in South Africa. She said she broke it off with Diddy while she was shooting the movie. Cassie found out at that point that he was still dating Gina. She became irate, she cut off contact, and she focused on her movie. Diddy found out she was in a relationship with Michael B. Jordan. Let's pull up Michael B. Jordan. I'm sure you guys already know who Michael B. Jordan is, but just we're gonna add this into evidence. Really quick. Pure Joy says, "Ma'am, Sean John had an upscale Fifth Avenue store. T-shirts weren't sold there. It was comparable to the Ralph Lauren mansion in Madison." Uh, I mean, I'm not gonna compare Sean John to Ralph Lauren Purple Label. I'm sorry. I wore Sean John. Let me see. Sean John price points. This isn't me hating. I just don't think that it was a groundbreaking line. I think he was able to leverage his name. The liquor, I think, was groundbreaking. The clothes, but let's see. Sean John price points. 29.99 to 59.99, or $25 to $80. Let's see. Sean John, did they have a purple label? Sean John high end line. Mm, so he was nominated for awards. He didn't win any. He produced the first nationally televised runway show during New York Fashion Week. So that's big. I'm not just gonna hate on him. That's not me hating. I just didn't see it based on the fact that I wore the brand. But it would just be like, you get a T-shirt, it'd be on sale at Macy's. Um, he purchased a Nietzsche from Liz Claiborne in 20 for 20 million. He got into Macy's. I mean, some. Hold on, I'm sorry. I was reading the wiki on it. You know, we can agree to disagree, but I hear you. I hear you. I hear you, Pure Joy. Um. Oh, Michael B. Jordan. So we got another link. I did that video on everybody who he was linked to. So Michael B. Jordan dated Lori Harvey. Diddy dated Lori Harvey. Michael B. Jordan dated Cassie. Diddy dated Cassie. It's a real incestuous type of situation. Um, she thinks that by the time she was dating Michael B. Jordan, she had already broke up with Diddy. She sent a video to Diddy, D Rock, Eli, and KK. Cassie sent it to everyone because she was hurt, thought they were her friends and family. Um, she said, "Did you tell your family you had physical abuse issue in your relationship?" She says yes at different times. Then they mentioned Deontay and the fight with Diddy,
Yeah.
and
I ain't
she
playing no
shows the
more.
picture with the gash in her head from where Deontay,
Yeah.
Y'all hate it, man.
Kerry,
You need some money, go to war with me, nigga.
Cassie, and Diddy were fighting.
We ain't playing one over here, nigga.
Um,
And there ain't no.
have you ever witnessed him being inebriated
You ain't know. I ain't know.
around others? She says yes.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Did you want him to take responsibility for his behavior? She said yes. So Diddy was a celebrity. So freak offs were okay. So she said, so Diddy was a celebrity. So freak offs were a space to do drugs together. She says, yes. Freak offs were your way to do drugs together. You were able to keep up with him in a way that most people were not. She says yes. Part of the reason you did freak offs was because it was a special time. She
Well, I
said
see.
yes.
The one and only, nigga.
I would have said maybe.
Please, please.
Because in her testimony,
Little crazy nigga.
we've already heard her say the special part was when she was done sleeping with the man and had taken the come out and rubbed it on him, and then she was able to have sex with him. That's what was special. But just the blanket statement of yes, it was a special time. I think that the jury, that might be a knock against her. Did you call each other high partners? She said yes. Did Diddy at times want you to take less drugs? She says yes. Did Diddy like your friend Bana? She says I don't know. Did you do drugs with Bana? She says yes. Which one? Opioids. What kind of drugs did Bana do? She said coke. Were you highly addicted at this point? She says yes. And Diddy didn't like that. She says no. She felt it was hypocritical though because he was also a drug addict. He just didn't want her to do drugs with other people. Diddy did not like her to do drugs with her friends. Yes, because he only wanted her to do drugs with him. Were there times where he would take drugs where you would take drugs without his knowledge? She says yes, with explosive results. Did he communicate with dealers in LA to stop selling you drugs? And she said yes. Now, this I think is going to work for the prosecution. When we're talking about like an enterprise that involves drugs, who puts the word out that says that drug dealers, is there like a drug deal line? Am I crazy? Who has the power to tell drug dealers in and around the state of California not to sell drugs to Cassie? That sounds like somebody who has some power in the drug world to me. Um, Ladanya says, "New. Oh, thank you for being a new member." Oh, Louisiana lady. I think Cassie is trying to protect Diddy from jail. I could see that. Oh, I think we missed some. Elliot says, wish she would have left the relationship a lot earlier. This mess went on too long, 11 years, and it completely broke her down if she was trying to unalive herself after she'd already given birth. 82, shout out to Mims. Okay, we did that one. We did that one. Wicked NYC, they making her admit that Freak Offs was part. We did that. We did some of these already. Petty Peter says not a Tootsie Roll ping. She said it, not me. Thomasina, thank you again for the generous super chat. She says, you the GOAT, love your channel. Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. Doris, sending prayers to your sister. Thank you so much, Doris. We did that one. Hera, hell Mims, why Diddy and his employees kept bringing up Cuddy? It was 30 days. Crazy. I think it was a big blow to his ego. I think it was a really big blow to his ego. Now he's wearing dresses to award shows. C. Burgeon, for more 5-hour energies, fruit snacks, and other courtroom contraband. Were you in court with me? Okay, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. The bailiffs have they tried to turn this shit into like the jail. So the first day we could eat, we could drink. Now they walk around making sure there's no food. I sneak my shit. I do. I'm not gonna lie. The pews are hard. I'd be annoyed. It was a lot of crazy people in there today. There were some people who I believe might be homeless. Um, the the combined odor from both of them was a lot. I think they were aware of it because when they left, they made sure to get in an elevator with only those two. It was a lot of crazy people. Um, this one lady stopped me to ask me a bunch of questions about Lauren. I don't know. I mean, she's she's a nice lady. I like her on the Breakfast Club, but I don't know her. I don't know you either. If you have a question for Lauren, you need to go ask Lauren. She was asking me, so how do you know her? You guys seem very friendly. Uh, tell me where she works. I said you should definitely ask these questions directly to the person. it was a lot of it was a lot of crazy people. Are y'all close friends? You guys seem super super cool. Uh, yeah, it was a lot of that going on. But I think C Burgeon might have been in the courtroom because Salvation Air. Hit the like and subscribe. Yeah, definitely. I don't know where you were at on likes, but do that. Thank you for being a member for 11 months. Pure Joy, you're thinking of the Macy's line. I get what you're saying. So he had more of an exclusive purple label that had a flagship store and the Macy's line. I get it. I get it now. Thank you, Pure Joy. And the Pitbull Mom gifted 10 memberships. Thank you. And if you got a membership from the Pitbull Mom, definitely say thank you in the chat. I don't get to pick them. Um, YouTube does. 1,300 likes. Yeah, we got like 5,000 in the chat. Definitely hit that like button, guys. Let's try to get to 3,000 quick. Um, so the Banya incident. Um, Banya, Cassie's girlfriend. I'm sorry, Banya and her girlfriend and Cassie were in the house. Cassie was sleeping. And it's the same testimony that that Diddy was holding her over the balcony and then pulled her back and threw her into some chairs. She's a very tiny girl. She said, "Is it true that you learned about what happened on the balcony after the fact?" And she says, "No." And then the lawyer quickly moved on.
Oh,
She said, Diddy learned about the extent of drug use in 2017, urged her to go to rehab, got her a life coach. She said, and you tried to go to the Golden Door rehab, and she says the Golden Door isn't a rehab; it's a spa. So she withdrew the question. Diddy found out you were doing drugs, more drugs than he thought. She says New Year's, she lost all sense of taste and smell, and there was blood in her urine. That's when the drug use became an issue. What side effects of drug use did Diddy notice? She said, I was acting funny. Were you using drugs without Diddy? She says, yes. What was his reaction to side effects of the drugs? She says he couldn't answer that question. Was Diddy concerned about you? She said, yes. Was it because of the side effects you were exhibiting? What is the side effect of too much ketamine? She says, it's like you're in another world. If Diddy didn't get his painkillers, it would affect his mood. She says, yes. And you understand him better than anyone else. She says, maybe. So now we're going to Cans. He suspected that she took drugs from him. She says, yes. Caused a big argument and he squeezed your leg. She said, amongst other things. Um, Other instances of violence. You were beaten in the back of a car after speaking to another person in the entertainment industry. She said, oh, after shrugging when Diddy was flirting with somebody else in the entertainment industry. At the Ace of Diamonds, she was beaten in a hotel room for speaking to a manager in the music industry. D-Rock and Suge Knight incident. Do you remember telling the feds you did go with them? Now, this is when they put on all black, pulled out some weapons, and went to go meet Suge. Um, she pulled out an exhibit, y'all. It said Cassie said she was crying in the car during the Suge Knight incident. Cassie says it must have been a mistake because she didn't go with them. So this was, she was trying to make it like a big aha moment. Cassie, I know this is years and years and years
hell
ago,
no.
but if you told the actual federal government, they should have gone over this with you. Her testimony was that they left and came back within an hour. When she talked to the feds initially, she said she was crying in the car during the Suge Knight incident. So that didn't look good. April 8th, 2025, the government record. Cassie said originally he had hit the. Okay. So sorry. Did you see? Did he hit your friend in the head with the wooden hanger?
Oh shit. Got a guy.
And they thought they had caught her up because she said, "Isn't it true that you weren't in the room?" And so Cassie was like, "I never said it." And I remember Cassie only said he hit her in the head with the hanger and it pissed the girl off and they're not friends anymore. The woman thought she had caught her in a lie by saying that she thought she saw it. No, she knew it happened, but she didn't see it. She was in the bathroom. So you got 1 point for the Suge Knight incident, but then you lost right after with the wooden hanger incident. He said he didn't want her to use drugs with anyone else. At the time of the hanger incident, she was seeing Alex, and Diddy did not know she was seeing Alex. So basically, what happened was Diddy and the girl, I'm sorry, Carrie, her best friend, and Cassie were at Cassie's house, and there was drugs on the table. Diddy walks in, Cassie's in the bathroom, and he proceeds to pick up the wooden hanger and hit the girl in the head. The girl then sued Cassie and Diddy, and Cassie paid her the demand letter, and then they're not friends anymore. She said, "Tell me about the baby oil. Where did you get it from?" She said, "From the drugstore." Was there drugs in the baby oil? She said, "Absolutely not." So that answers the question. For everybody who said there was drugs in the baby oil, there was never any drugs in the baby oil. Another exhibit, another email. "Baby, I want to freak off so bad, but I don't want to mess myself up." I'm like this. At this point, it's the fifth time they're using this to suggest that Cassie likes freak offs. But I like y'all. This was monotonous. I was over this part. Then they give her a 400-page exhibit where they're only going to use 2 pages. Technically, she's supposed to read all 400 pages before the cross exam. The judge was like, "Now time to take a break." On March 3rd, 2016, Diddy sends her dope accessories. Um, she says, "What was it before?" And it was for her premiere. "Cassie, which one? I think you're okay. I love.
Help me up.
Please let me know if I
Almost two.
get. Oh, please let me know if it gets bad. I will leave my phone on. I know you're sick." So now they're trying to establish that Diddy was having his own illnesses
What'd
related
you
to
say?
drugs. Um, Now she did get her here. So she says, "So you're a person who likes to go out?" And Cassie says, "No." And the lawyer looks at her and she's like, "Well, we have text messages about clubbing." And she says, "Yes." And she says, "You've been to clubs around the world?" And she says, "Yes." And she says, "Well, you're paid promotionally to go to clubs and party." And
Oh,
she
three
says, "Yes."
P.
"In New York, right?" "Yes." "LA, right?" "Yes." "But you don't like clubs?" "No." Cassie, I'm telling you, Cassie starts getting a little bit short with her. "Yes, I was paid, but I don't like to go out." I don't want you to think I don't want to. So this is another email. "I don't want you to think that I don't want to." So the woman's like, "So you did want to do freak offs?" "No, because he was constantly asking for them." Attorney, "Just like you were constantly." Oh, sorry. This is where they get real short. They get real short with each other, and I was loving it. The lady who was sitting next to me from Extra was loving it. Lauren was giving her own ad libs too, mind you. Lauren is also pretty tall. She's always dressed really nice. She's a very pretty lady. I don't know where she's from, but she's extremely like quick witted. I enjoyed going back and forth with Lauren, but this exchange was very funny. So it was a message that said, "I don't want you to think that I don't want to." So the woman says, "So you wanted to do freak offs?" Cassie responded, "No, it was because he was constantly asking
Just
for
knew
them."
I lost out.
Attorney, just like you were constantly asking for them? Silence. Attorney again, just like you were constantly asking for them? Cassie, I guess. The attorney says, "Don't worry, we can go back to the text messages." And Cassie responded, "We can." I was like, so in the overflow room, we can clown, we can have a good time. I kid you not. Yeah, Lauren LaRosa. Yeah, Lauren from the Breakfast Club. I kid you not. This exchange was hilarious. Where Cassie said, "We can."
Yeah, bitch.
uh, just like you were constantly asking for them? Just like you were constantly asking for them? I guess. Don't worry, we can go back to the text messages. We can. It's when you do that
Damn.
head tilt. We can. that kind of shit has to come to you got to put a head tilt with that. We can.
No. Oh shit.
uh so Cassie, is a little bit more pointed. The woman has dropped the really soft, measured voice, and at this point, they are going back and forth. And maybe me and Lauren and the lady from Extra, we probably shouldn't be sitting together anymore. We definitely would have been kicked out of the actual courtroom. Maybe it was God that had me in the overflow room today. Or maybe it was God. Cause wait, Mims, they said Cassie laughed at Kim's abuse. Well, that wouldn't be funny. That wouldn't be funny. But the weekend is funny. Okay. So they start reviewing more messages.
Baby,
Cassie
can
is
you help
next.
me?
Hold on, what are you guys saying? Thomasina says, "Oh, Thomasina is very generous tonight, y'all." Thomasina says, "I think his security
Yeah,
needs to go to
yeah.
jail, and people didn't say anything. His daughter shouldn't be there. His daughters definitely shouldn't be there." Let me tell you who is the most stoic. I think that the person who has an actual head on their shoulders, not the slow one, not King. King looks like, I'm sorry, Christian. Christian's a little slow. I don't know how to say it. He can't close his mouth just like Diddy. Um, Quincy has it together. Quincy looks straight ahead. He doesn't engage with anybody. You can tell he's very protective of his sisters. And I think that Quincy didn't grow up in this lifestyle. Quincy grew up in backwoods Georgia with his grandma. So Quincy I think he's a little bit more grounded. You know,
Well, whack it then.
I don't hate
Shit.
these people, y'all. I don't like Diddy. The son who allegedly R worded somebody. I'm not, too keen on the little slow one. But I don't hate these people. I don't hate these children. I don't want to make anything harder on them.
Push
Like there was a
this
lady who
down.
was, she was,
Push this.
I believe she was deaf. And once I realized that she was a family member of Diddy, I curtailed all conversations I was having with this defense attorney about it because real family members and stuff like that, I don't have any need to
I
like
guess.
do anything or say anything that would tear you down. When the mom passed by, did I say she was going to the Cowboy Carter concert? I did. I did. Cause she looked like she was going to the Cowboy Carter concert, but I'm not really um Yeah, I'm not. Even the family members. Now that woman that pushed me, she
Domination.
had one more time. But
Domination.
outside of that, I'm
Domination.
not. That's not my thing. I'm not trying to. What's up, Gabor? Gabor says Lauren is from Delaware. All right, I like Lauren. Lauren is actually really really funny. She's extremely insightful. Definitely insightful. I enjoyed our dialogue. Glow Up Kiki says, "Hey Mims, this is the girl from Philly, and thank you so much for covering this case from start to finish." Oh wait, are you one of the people I met? It's a very small
Ooh, in there.
it's so small. I can't
Swimwear.
see. I'm sorry. But if I met you, it was nice meeting you. Thank you for being a member for 11 months. Glow Up. Julian Cardi, Mims, you the goat for bringing this to us. Thank you so much for the great reporting. We're so happy to have you there. Keep up the good work. You guys can put in the chat. I might try to stay an extra 2 days. I'm gonna check it out, see what the prices are. I might try to stay another couple days, so at least I would be here through Wednesday, maybe Wednesday. No, Crystal, I haven't been having time to do anything, and no lie, they're not always gonna be
Should
this
leave your
late.
ass in
But
there.
I realized I need a little bit of time to decompress after this. Like
Spike.
when I was going live right after, it was a lot. So they won't always be this late. Tomorrow we'll be on earlier. Um, Gabor, are you covering the Diddy trial? I know you're doing the Megan stuff. Have I seen Tisa? Yes, me and Tisa had a good conversation yesterday. We saw each other on the first day. She was pleasant. Then we had a more significant conversation yesterday. Um, I'm from the South. I'm from Louisiana. I think you should
Feel
stay.
like playing this shit right now.
I'm not staying for the whole thing. I'm not. I gotta get back home, but maybe I might try to extend for another couple days. They said that the hotels were so expensive because there was some big convention or something. So I'll check it out and see. I might try to stay. Rhonda says, "Thanks for bringing us the daily updates. We appreciate your updates. Here's some snack money. Thank you." But yeah, y'all, I'm not gonna be able to just sit here. Do I like Cassie? Yes, but I'm not gonna blow smoke up your ass. If something doesn't look good, I'm gonna tell you. If I see something that the prosecution will be able to use, I'm gonna tell you. But there were some points, but nothing was better than we can. We
I tell
can.
you and your bitch ass brother
Um,
stop pushing me.
we can, and don't forget Saturday. I know you guys have questions. I know you guys want to debate. I'm thinking we should do a something where I drop the link, but it'll be something very specific. Like you will literally have a minute to sound off or 2 minutes to sound off. Um, we're gonna do some more. It won't be this late tomorrow. I promise you guys. I know this is late, but I had some stuff to do. Keita says, don't forget to take at least 30 minutes a day to do relax, clear your mind. That's what I did today. I took a meeting. I took a nap. I showed up to court late. Well, before Cassie was on, but I have been showing up to court. The earliest I got there was 4. Then the next day I think it was 5, then 6,
That
and then
baby,
today it
can
was
you
9.
help
And I got
me?
there before Cassie was even on the stand. So in order for me to get into the venue, I need to be there at the butt crack of dawn, and I just don't know if it's worth it. I really would not have been able to have one-on-one time with the lady from Extra or Lauren had I been in the main room. Or there been maybe I'll try to do the main room one day, but I don't see a benefit in it for me personally. Um, S Hall it's scrolling at the bottom. It's make it make sense now. Um, yeah, no. Armand has been in the main room. Um, I think most times Armand is in the main room, but no, I like Armand. I like Armand. Um, Let me say this about all the content creators. because it's not just YouTubers. I met a TikToker today. There's a space for everybody. This is commentary, right? So Armand and I, we get along, but we're polar opposites. We are polar opposites, and we get along. Um, there's a space for Tisa. There's a space for TikTokers. There's a space for Make It Make Sense. There's a space for Sylvia. There's a space for the newer
Hey,
channels. There's a space for people who are thinking about creating a channel. You come into this with the idea that there can only be one, then you're gonna fail. But as far as I'm concerned on YouTube, I embrace people and people have embraced me. So just because maybe you don't see us connecting online or doing like a group, it doesn't mean that there's any beef there. It just means that that time and space has not been like worked out. But yeah, I kudos to everybody who is doing their thing and taking 8 hours of their day to listen to this. It's a lot. So shout out to everybody. I know Sylvia is reading the transcripts. Next week I might be paying to get these transcripts as well. Um Absolutely not, Basic Black. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's a space for Lauren. Lauren gives her like the amount of actual journalists, because I'm a content creator. I would never say I'm a journalist because that's taken away from somebody who spent years in school to, get that degree and hit the streets. When I'm talking to people from complex and stuff like that, these aren't people who are, rolling like Diddy. These are people who grind, who are out there 4 a.m. in the rain to get the story. Like they're doing the same thing that I'm doing. So the difference is I don't have to be as pulled up when I'm doing mine. But yeah, I see there's a space for everybody in this. Um yeah, we did that one. Did you see the escorts page I sent you? Okay, yes. I mean, are we allowed to oh, oh my stuff just came in. My press pass just came in. As I'm saying I'm not a journalist. Yeah, my all my press documents just arrived after I'm already gone. That's funny. Um, Candace, thank you for the cash app. Kendra, thank you for the cash app. Latoya, thank you for the cash app. Eddie, thank you for the cash app. Sequoia, thank you for the cash app. Terry, thank you for the cash app. Thank you guys. Yeah, like I said, we'll be on early. I know y'all are gonna tear up this.
What's up, y'all? Your girl is off work. It's the
I don't,
weekend. It's
DB.
the
I don't know if I want
weekend.
to post that.
Yeah, I'm really not doing nothing this weekend, but just
Somebody
chilling.
told me yesterday,
I am
and
currently in Little Caesars
like I said,
getting
I'm
the
not
kids some
above
pizza and
reproach.
stuff. When they
When I was
get out of school,
showing the
they already
picture
have
of
something to
Jackie
eat. Let me
Crispy,
see if the pizza ready.
husband, and saying this is kind of what the guy looked like, one of my subscribers who has been following me said,
Yeah, how
don't
was
do
your day?
that.
How was normal? How was your day?
And I like
It
the
was good.
comment.
What's normal?
So if you're watching now,
Oh,
I took what you said to heart. So I won't show the escorts real page, just so that they will still be able to be anonymous unless they come to court and they don't want to be anonymous. And I also won't, show you who somebody looks like. Um, Grown woman, here's another Starbucks in the morning and take care of your mental health first and foremost. Absolutely. And thank you so much. Me and Grown Woman be in a whole bunch of people's chats together. we like all the same people. Bonnie, Mims, and Wendy Williams, y'all will be a Batman and Batgirl gang. Should I forgot I'm in New York. If somebody sends me the address to Wendy Williams' window, I will go by and say hi to Wendy. Maybe I can send Wendy some flowers. If y'all send me the address to where Wendy's at, I will go by and I'll take a picture there so that y'all know I'm there. I love Wendy. Thank you, Bonnie. Danielle, thanks for all that you do, ma'am. Side note, I think Lauren may be single. I I don't know Lauren's personal business like that. I enjoyed hanging out with her today,
I
or
don't
you know,
want to do
not
that.
hanging out, but I enjoyed the dialogue. And is it the same Danielle with the beamer?
But bitch, I gotta go all the way
Girl with
back.
that. Wait, girl, what's that? Oh, girl, what's the T? Mims, did he have a meltdown? Someone said he did. Maybe. I mean, I can't see everything. Maybe he had a meltdown. I don't know. I didn't personally see one, but I was taking snack breaks, so anything could happen. And maybe this wasn't something that was on camera. Maybe
That was
whoever
so
said it
lame.
was in the courtroom. That's possible. Um, in the courtroom, you might be able to see certain things that I can't see from the overflow. State 84, Jonathan Oddie and Albie Shore's testimony would be epic. Okay, so we can get into Oddie a little bit, and then I gotta go.
Right.
We found out that what Oddie said about Diddy is very, very true. But did y'all listen to the full 30 minutes of what Adi had to say? What he said about, I mean, two things can be true at the same time. What he said about Diddy could, in part, be a catalyst for what happened with the meltdown and shooting up the
Motivation.
Trump Tower. He also felt like Barack, oh, Barack Obama was actually in the bunker with Osama. We can go through the video later. There's some things that he said that I don't agree with. But the stuff about Diddy, absolutely true. I don't know what type of witness he would be able to be. Some people feel like maybe somebody slipped him something, and that's where things kind of went awry with him. Uh, I do think in certain ways he was vindicated, especially when Cassie had to mention him in court. I do think he was vindicated in that, but I don't think Barack Obama was actually Osama. Mm, maybe Albie Shore though. It'd be funny if Jonathan Odie got on the stand and started just exposing everybody with like reckless abandon. That'd be funny. Bonnie, you're in the world of journalism like Portia. I know the read was for Brit, but I'm waiting for Portia to get her own "You Got Miles on Your Mouth" kind of read. Oh, Kenya gave it to her. Kenya gave it to her with that. Portia, be quiet, Portia. If there's not a dick in your mouth, you don't even know what you're saying. That I guess that was her. You got miles on your mouth. Keisha, thank you so much for the super sticker. Glow up. No, we never met, but I hope so one day. And I can't
No, I
believe
hate that.
Cassie lied and had her whole phase with five dudes. She
No, I
doesn't
don't
even
want to
look
play
like
no
that type
damn
of girl.
quiz.
What was her whole phase with five dudes? Are you talking about the escorts? It was a long, long, long list of escorts, but who's the five dudes? You talking about celebrities?
All right, y'all. It was fun. Kind of over
You
it
don't have to
now.
send another
I
super
don't
chat.
want
You
to
can
play
just put it in the
anymore.
chat. Ask Lauren. She knows Wendy's address. I don't know. I might be in the overflow with her tomorrow. If I'm in the overflow, I'll ask. You're missing. Peaches and Sunshine, thank you for your hard work. Are they asking questions about Cassie's finances during the relationship? Was she getting paid for the freak offs? What money was coming? Yes, they've established that she had her own money prior to the freak offs to try to make people feel like she was a very ambitious girl and she was going after Diddy for money. They haven't broken down what her they have not broken down what her allowance was from Diddy, but she clearly had one because she was not allowed to work. But yeah, they haven't said it.
But
Well, her allowance was 20
right, y'all.
million at the
I
end of
holla.
it. Her allowance was a balloon payment like a car. Y'all know if you buy a car, a lot of people be leasing cars and you can either give it back or you could do a balloon payment. Well, that's what this was. Her
It was
allowance was a
fun.
major $20 million balloon payment at the end. Um, Donna, Tisa said he got really angry with his attorneys. Maybe I didn't personally see it, but like I said, Tisa might have seen something